Cool. 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 Yo, how's it going? Nice, we've actually got people in first thing.
I'll go ahead and drop out then.
Yo, how's it going?
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube Live. This is the second time we've done this.
Nice, we've actually got people in first thing.
It's supposed to be the third time you've done this, but we'll have to drop out and get one going.
Yo, how's it going?
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube Live. This is the second time we've done this.
Nice, we've actually got people in first thing.
It's supposed to be the third time you've done this, but we'll have to drop out and get one going.
Yo, how's it going?
No, it's not Twitch, it's YouTube, baby.
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube Live.
I know my little
the second time we've done this.
Nice, we've actually got people in first thing.
It's supposed to be the third time we've done this, but we'll have to drop out.
Usually a nerdy shirt in one of my jackets.
We've got like tons of suits.
Yo, how's it going?
No, it's not Twitch, it's YouTube, baby.
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube Live.
I know my
the second time we've done this.
Nice, we've actually got people in first thing.
We actually have the third time we've done
from the
this,
start.
but
Usually a nerdy shirt in one of my jackets.
we've got like tons of suits.
Yo,
Hold on, give me just one moment. Y'all can take a minute to yourself.
how's it going?
No, it's not Twitch, it's YouTube, baby.
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube Live.
I know my
the second time we've done this.
Nice, we've actually got people in first thing.
We actually have the third time we've done
from the
this,
start. Usually a nerdy shirt in one of my jackets.
we've got like tons of suits.
Yo,
Hold on, give me just one moment. Y'all can take a minute to yourself.
how's it going?
No, it's not Twitch, it's YouTube, baby.
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube Live.
I know my
the second time we've done this.
Nice, we've actually got people in first thing.
We actually have the third time we've done
from the
this,
start. Usually a nerdy shirt in one of my jackets.
we've got like tons of suits.
Yo,
Hold on, give me just one moment. Y'all can take a minute to yourself.
how's it going?
No, it's not Twitch, it's YouTube, baby.
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube Live.
I know my
the second time we've done this.
Nice, we've actually got people in first thing.
We actually have the third time we've done
from the
this,
start. Usually a nerdy shirt in one of my jackets.
we've got like tons of suits.
Yo,
Hold on, give me just one moment. Y'all can take a minute to yourself.
how's it going?
No, it's not Twitch, it's YouTube, baby.
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube Live.
I know my
the second time we've done this.
Nice, we've actually got people in first thing.
We actually have the third time we've done
from the
this,
start. Usually a nerdy shirt in one of my jackets.
we've got like tons.
Actually,
Hold on, give me just one moment. Yeah, it'll take a minute, 2 seconds.
how's it going?
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube
We actually have some video from the start. I'm usually a nerdy shirt in my jacket.
got like tons.
Actually,
Hold on, give me just one moment. Yeah, it'll take a minute, 2 seconds.
how's it going?
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube
We actually have some video from the start. I'm usually a nerdy shirt in my jacket.
got like tons.
Actually,
Hold on, give me just one moment. Yeah, it'll take a minute, 2
how's
seconds.
it going?
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube
We actually have some video from the start. I'm usually a nerdy shirt in my jacket.
got like tons.
Actually,
Hold on, give me just one moment. Yeah, it'll take a minute, 2
how's
seconds.
it going?
Alright guys, so welcome to the YouTube
We actually have some video from the start. I'm usually a nerdy shirt in my jacket.
got like tons.
Actually,
Hold on, give me just one moment.
Alright.
Take a minute, 2 seconds. Alright guys, that should close off the loop probably. Alright, sorry, I was trying to kind of figure out what was going on from Sarah's computer. Alright. So what does everybody think about good old Bethesda's Creator Club? That shit launched, and apparently people have review bombed the shit out of Fallout 4, and then I think Skyrim's released either today or yesterday, and pretty much expecting the same thing. Do know that the video is behind like 10 seconds, so if you ever see me just kind of sitting here looking stupid, I'm waiting for people to answer me. Very much agreed on it being shit. Yeah. I guess YouTube does have some interesting emotes. Paid mods will never be a thing. They're already a thing, obviously, and I mean, it just goes with microtransactions. I mean, honestly, this was, you know, the next step. Like, everybody's going to be going to this now. Like, there's never going to be just paying a single price for a video game anymore, it seems. Like, if everything's relying on microtransactions, Sony's said, or not Sony, not Sony, Square Enix said specifically that all their games going forward are going to be gas gaming as a service, so you can expect in the Final Fantasy VII remakes and the Kingdom Hearts 3 that you're going to be paying for potions and shit on the side. Fucking Bethesda's killed everything. They've already actually admitted that they are working on a next Elder Scroll game, but they're just not even like launching it because they're trying to dumb down Skyrim enough to go to the Switch first, so they can get some of those microtransactions, paid mod shit over there too. But so yeah, the next thing I have on discussion is that fucking Atlas is just killing it with video game announcements, man. They got like so much coming out, even like some of their older really good stuff coming back out, like Dragon's Crown Pro coming out for the PS4. Looks freaking awesome. But yeah, like most importantly, they have the new Persona Dancing All Nights for Persona 3 and Persona 5 coming out pretty soon. They've got the Strange Journey Redux. Excuse me. And they've even got like a new Shin Megami Tensei game coming out. Yeah, no shit. But, oh yeah, also they've got a new Catherine game coming out, and not much is known about that, though. Like, we're not really sure if it's going to be a continuation, or just the same type of game with all new people. But, that looks freaking awesome. Yeah, Catherine. Yeah, they are still doing that bullshit about like not allowing people to stream, which is fucking stupid, because I don't believe anybody who's watching someone play the entire game on Twitch is ever going to buy the game in the first place. And if they don't see the ending, it's not like they are going to buy it. It's fucking stupid. Not the Tactics Ogre games. I don't know. I'm not sure like how the Alliance Alive is, but that's a new game from Atlas that's coming out that might be a little bit like that. I know it's more like old school RPG. Ugh. Yeah, hope that fucking Square Enix doesn't touch any of the Tactics games, because that would be brutal to have to pay online for. So also on the list, like kind of leading through the subject of Atlas releasing these new games, there was 2 new games coming out from Atlas here lately that I kind of looked like I wanted to play, but then like whenever I looked into them a bit more, they're dungeon crawlers, which I fucking hate dungeon crawlers. It feels so lazy to me, especially in this day and age, but so many fucking people are releasing dungeon crawlers right now. It makes no sense to me. I think honestly because it is lazy and they just don't have the, you know, the financial backbone to actually develop games for systems of this day, so they're just kind of falling back on this old crap, hoping there's enough people that want to play it. Square Enix is fucked. There's nothing good about them anymore. Like, there hasn't been for a while, honestly, but yeah. Fuck Square Enix. But yeah, so what do you guys feel about dungeon crawlers? Do you like them or not? Well, they made Final Fantasy XIV Online actually a significantly long time ago, and the original group that was responsible for making Final Fantasy XIV Online was all fired because the game was so bad and they had to just redevelop it. So dungeon crawlers are, you literally only see what's in front of you. You have a map, and that's kind of how you're traveling around. Everything really looks the same, and you have, you know, just turntable RPG style, which is alright. I do like turntable RPG style because it feels like it's a bit more strategic to me. But yeah, you're just going around this, like, looking at practically the same thing over and over again, going forward, turning left, going down that way, and basically the way that they get harder and everything is basically the maps get more grindy or puzzle-like, and honestly, they usually end up with way too much grinding in the game too. Also, you never actually get to see your characters fight. You get to see like pictures of your characters down on the side, and I mean, sometimes they'll have cool-looking pictures for whatever you're fighting that'll change slightly, but most of the time, it's your pictures are fighting other pictures. In a way, yes, like Dungeons and Dragons. If you were playing Dungeons and Dragons and the entire game was walking down a hallway, basically. Agreed. I'm not a huge fan of them, but like I said, it just seems like a lot of companies are pushing them out right now. And part of me is thinking that's because like a lot of these indie companies are kind of dying out too, and they just can't handle developing for the big systems. Which is sad because we're probably about to see you know, another upgrade on systems here real soon. I mean, they're expecting PS5 to launch in 2020. It's not that far off. I don't know. You know, maybe I'd like dungeon crawlers a bit more if they did it in VR. I never played Darkest Dungeon, but I don't believe that's a dungeon crawler. I mean, here, I'll see if I can find some pictures of dungeon crawler games that so you can kind of see how the gameplay would be. See, this was Persona Labyrinth Q, which was a dungeon crawler, and it was done like this. See how you see kind of pictures of your characters instead of actually seeing your characters? And then, of course, you have your attacks and skills, and you see an image of the opponent that you're fighting. In Persona Labyrinth Q, you actually, you know, the enemies were there and they moved around, but in normal dungeon crawlers, you don't even get that much. They're just, you know, images, still images. Do we need a PS5 at this point? It's kind of hard to say. I mean, really, it just, honestly, more than anything, it always is just going to depend on the tech. But, I mean, how many games truly use the functionality of the PS4 to its full extent anyway? Like Uncharted, Final Fantasy 15, like 2 games. I mean, I'm sure there's a few more, but most game developers are still trying to develop for fucking PS3, it seems like. So I don't think a PS5 is needed at the moment. Okay, let's see what else we got to talk about. Oh, Dissidia NT finally has a release date, and its release date is going to be January 30th. Now, whenever I saw this, I thought it was just kind of a hold title, like, you know, just something they put out there, and, you know, they'll move around. But I think it was actually a Tuesday, so that is a release date for video games. So I'm kind of surprised and happy, and can't wait for that to come out. That'll be one we have to do a party for sure. And yes, that is very true too about you know, it's too expensive to make games. Like, who wants to pay $60 for a game, especially when they're not even getting half the fucking game? Like, especially whenever you have to pay for all the fucking season passes and all the extra little DLC. Just, it's stupid. VR will never overtake gaming consoles. Like, I can't even see it in the future being that huge of a deal. I do like VR, and I love playing VR. It's very fun. There needs to be more AAA titles out there. Like, there's so little AAA titles out there for VR that whenever they announced Galgun double piece VR, I got excited because there was going to be a AAA game for it. You never played any of the Dissidia games? Well, the first Dissidia came out on the PSP, and it was freaking excellent. I loved it. They re-released it as a duodecim, like 0.012 or some crap like that, and I didn't get behind that one so much. I even own that one now, and it wasn't that good a game. Excuse me, wasn't that good a game. But this new Dissidia, it actually came out in arcades in Japan, and whenever it did, they announced that it was going to receive a PS4 release a year later. But you know, 2 years later now, we're finally getting it, and it looks freaking awesome. The creators for Dissidia, it's Square Enix is helping with it, but the people who are actually developing the game is the Team Ninja, I think is what they're called. The people who did Dead or Alive. And it looks super good. Like, the fighting looks awesome. It's 3v3, and you've got like limit breaks. You can summon. It looks freaking amazing. Here, while we're talking, I'll look up a video for that real quick. I'm gonna throw it up here. Ooh, there was a Tokyo Game Show trailer. Yeah, Team Ninja, like I thought. 1987. You get the healer from Final Fantasy XIV. That is freaking awesome. I mean, it does look very reminiscent of the PSP game, with them actually being able to kind of fly through the air like that. It's the character from Final Fantasy Tactics right there. I forget what his/her name is, and I think you can actually, instead of switching costumes, you switch between like guy and girl version. Not bad little video. Hopefully we get to see some summoning. This is Yasholta, the healer from Final Fantasy XIV. And you can bet I'm gonna main Cloud for sure. It looks like there might be different battle types, like a capture the flag thing going on here. Yep, something like that. Oh, there's the summon Ifrit. This is fucking brutal. You actually have to fight the summon, I guess, whenever it comes out. That's cool. And he's just gonna be a broken character. If you can just teleport, stab everything. You're talking about the Xenoverse? It does look very, very reminiscent of Xenoverse, I suppose. Well, I'm sure they'll have their original Japanese voice actors and probably just English subs. It's based off the arcade game, so they're not going to do too much with the full voices or anything. especially since it's actually getting released all over the world on PS4 at once. So yeah, I'm sure it's just the Japanese voice actors from the original game. Oh yeah, it looks like a lot of fun, and that'll be something that definitely pushes the PS4 to its max. Which is actually funny because I heard that that the arcade system itself is actually just a PS4 inside of it. So it was originally made with a PS4 in mind, which is why it's so odd that it took so long to get out. But I mean, I guess they had to release Final Fantasy 15 fucking eventually. 20 years in the making. Well, the freaking Pokemon game apparently was all broken up too, and they eventually released the actual thing for the Switch. Ugh. Let's see what else. Okay. So here was another thing to discuss about, was that should indie games cost more? Like, the reason I kind of had this question up is because a lot of times you'll see indie games and they're super cheap and that's why people buy them, but a lot of the times if you think about it, indie games are full fucking games and you're paying significantly less. You usually get a whole lot more out of them, and a lot of these indie developers, they just aren't making it because they're not getting enough for their video game in the first place because they're indie and they're just trying to get people to buy them. yeah 20 years and they still fucked up the story and couldn't release the full thing, even though they supposedly had changed the story entirely for the game itself. So what do you guys think? Should indie titles cost more than they do? I mean, I know you guys play a lot of indie titles with your Steam. I mean, say good indie games make it, but I mean, Stardew Valley made it, and I don't think it's that good. But the reason Stardew Valley kind of made it as a development team was because it was one freaking guy, and then he could afford, with all the money he made profit-wise, to create a new game. I mean, I suppose we'll see how good they are whenever we see his Harry Potter school game come out, which I actually think I want to try that game out because it's different from Harvest Moon, and if it's cheap again, no reason not to. But there's a lot of just indie titles or / indie developers, like the Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. That was $20, and freaking, I'm pretty sure Sega Master System games released at higher than $20 when they originally came out, and this one's obviously significantly better than its original. So I mean, there's just a lot of indie developers that are falling under because the cost of paying their entire development crew isn't quite what they need because they're trying to get their game out there, is what I'm basically saying. But yes, of course, it's obviously depends on whether they're making, a game worth the price tag. I mean, honestly, if any developers really want to get good money and kind of put their faith in their game and stuff, what they should really do is release collector's editions with more stuff for the game and a higher price tag, because then the people who do like it and do want to support the game are going to pay that more money. So the other thing that I had up for discussion was actually from last month, but it was basically about EA and the Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda game that was such a horrid piece of shit. And at the time that I'd written this down, EA was actually blaming the fans for Mass Effect Andromeda and like closing down the studio entirely. Like there's no more Mass Effect games. No. Being a collector myself, I'm a huge fan of collector's editions. I know, like, probably you guys won't be that big a fan of it because you, you know, do the computer gaming, so collector's editions don't mean shit to you, obviously. But being a physical release person, I like and you know, a collector, obviously, I like a lot of the collector's editions because, you know, you get so much to display. BioWare is dead? Yeah, EA is a fucking horrible company, and they I guess they took all the Mass Effect crew and threw them on to the Anthem crew. So the new Anthem game is the closest you will get to I guess Mass Effect 3. The Mass Effect 3 that should have come, I guess. With bounty hunting that Bethesda ruined? I can't remember. I know what you're talking about. That EA, like, apparently it wasn't even like nearly the first one. Like there's been several. I think there's like some site had a list of them. And there's like 20 or over that of developers that EA bought up and then immediately just destroyed and dismembered and threw onto other teams. Can't remember the bounty hunting though. But I do remember talking about this before because it was a big deal by then. Also, back on the subject of VR, the Tokyo Game Show apparently was announcing a whole bunch of really good VR titles. Like they're gonna like remake one of the Gungrave games for VR, and then they're redoing damn it, what is the game? Zone of Enders. They're redoing Zone of Enders for VR too. So that looks freaking awesome. Yeah, they stop a lot of good games from being published. Doesn't make any goddamn sense either. I guess if you've got the money. Well, they definitely have the money. FIFA just released the new FIFA, and it like just dwarfed the sales of Destiny 2 within a week. So it is now the largest selling game ever. EA is ridiculous. I'm really scared that Respawn Games is under them at the moment. Definitely scared for the future of Titanfall. Though supposedly they're already working on Titanfall 3. Well, I can't say like sports games as a whole. I mean, look at the Call of Duty series. I mean, they talk about how Infinite Warfare was like a huge bust for the fucking Activision, but that game still, you know, sold more than my favorite game ever, Final Fantasy VII. It's fucking stupid. Normies took over our games. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. Yeah, it's a mech game. Basically, you're a kid inside a mecha, or at least that was the first one. And honestly, I didn't care for the first one, but I hear that the second one's super good. So I'm fairly excited for that. So yeah, that Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming out in December, so we'll have to get the party figured out for that sometime soon. And also, I'm about to be, this Friday I'm leaving for Retropalooza down in Dallas. A VR mech game that feels like actually controlling a mech. There was a game back on the, I think it was original Xbox or Xbox 360, that came with like a whole box setup where you had all these kind of little buttons and things to control. It looked, I can't remember what the game was called, but it looked freaking awesome. And yes, there is a Gundam VR game. There's one that's actually like a whole pod, but it is actually an arcade game, and my camera will stop. And of course, it's only in Japan, but it would be really nice to see if Round 1 would ever get it. It'd be freaking awesome. I'd play the shit out of it. I would drive down to Dallas once a month to play that game in the arcades. But yeah, there used to be a really good one back in the day. It was Virtuon, which is a freaking amazing game. And I just had recently bought it for Sega Saturn, but I don't have the freaking twin stick for it. Like, it has, you know, just the two sticks that go up like this, and that's how you control it, moving your mech around like that, and it's a lot of fun, especially to play in the arcades. But, like I said, it released for the Sega Saturn, and I got the game. I need the twin stick, and the twin stick is the most expensive part, unfortunately. It's like $200, but who knows, maybe here at Retropalooza I can actually find a twin stick for fairly cheap. That'd be nice. I'm not sure how much the game cost. I do know that like not a lot of people enjoyed it because they thought it was a little convoluted, but I mean, isn't that, you know, kind of the point in a sense? Like, it's supposed to be complicated. You're, you know, piloting a giant fucking mech. You know, it'd be nice to see them do, like, you know, maybe that kind of style of gameplay with the PSVR though. And speaking of Virtuon, they have at the Tokyo Game Show they just announced a new Virtuon game after like 15 years. So Retropalooza is a retro video game convention. So there's just going to be a whole bunch of people selling retro video games and talking about video games, and they'll have like the big YouTube personalities for gaming down there. I might do some filming and throw up a video on YouTube for it, about it. I can't remember, I don't think there's like anyone too big that I was too interested in going to be there. I do think GameSack was going to be there though, and I do like those guys. Those guys are pretty cool. Let me see. Okay, there's Boogie, the Completionist, Alpha Omega Sin, whoever that is, Gaijin Goomba, don't know who that is, Mike Matai, don't know who that is, Gaming Historian, and I've seen some of his videos, Pixel Dan, Alex Facian, I don't know who any of those are, and yeah, GameSack, I knew they were going to be there, Game Chasers, I don't know who they are, I've heard of them before, Woodhawker, Dreamcast Guy, I've seen one of his videos, Scott Squash, Okichief, Eric 8-Bit Perez, iRetro Gamer, Thor Ackerlund, Brett Weiss, Tafetta Darling, and Steina Glitters. Yeah, I don't know who any of those last ones were, but I don't know. Maybe I'll stop by the Game Sack booth. I do, like I said, I have mentioned I like those two guys. Yeah, big YouTube personalities. Yeah, you know, something that that I'll never be with my 36 subscribers. Oh no, I think I actually just reached 37. Oh, is he from Cinemassacre? Okay. I've heard of Boogie before, and like I watched one of his videos, but I didn't really care for him so much. But yeah, the main reason obviously I'm going is to get retro games for fairly cheap. And it's like a Saturday-Sunday thing. And a tip for anybody who goes to those conventions looking for like good deals and stuff. Save your money and get everything on the get everything that like is, you know, fairly common. You can probably find it for cheaper on the last day that they're doing it, because people will just try and, you know, sell up their stock rather than take it back home. Too late on the bandwagon. I don't know that they necessarily got popular because they started it earlier. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but honestly, whenever I started doing like the whole YouTube thing, it was, you know, specifically just because PlayStation 4 had the share feature, and I started doing the Randy videos up onto YouTube. And it kind of grew from that. Yeah, I have tickets already for it. For Saturday and Sunday were posted up. So I think they were 15, but that might have just been for early buy. You might have checked it out. But yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. YouTube cunt? Which YouTube cunt? You talking about the dab kid? The kid who does like the old fucking memes all day? Yeah, on the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite for sure. Oh, guy who attacked Boogie last time. I don't know who that is. But yeah, that does sound like a fucking dirtbag. I mean, I can't imagine, you know, Boogie really doing anything that would deserve someone, you know, attacking him. I mean, I don't care too much for his videos, but, you know, I don't dislike the guy for any reason. But yes, I still obviously have a negative view on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, just like I have a negative view on fucking Injustice 2. I cannot stand broken full price games, which sadly. Okay, so South Park, the South Park butthole, the fractured but whole. That's what it's called. South Park, the Fractured But Whole is coming out, and like I was looking at it because there's 3 different versions of it, and I was thinking like, what the hell would they need 3 different versions for it? And there's a goddamn season pass for South Park. I almost decided not to get it because of that, but I am still going to get it because it's the only way to own get a copy of the Stick of Truth for the PS4 is to buy the game. So I am just going to get like the regular priced game. Yeah. Super annoyed about the whole South Park thing. Especially like with as cool as those guys are, but I'm sure that was Ubisoft. Yeah, exactly. Just Ubisoft, fuckers. So yeah, does anybody have any kind of questions for me? I'll try and think. I think I had a few other things I was going to talk about, but we are nearing kind of the end of our hour mark, which is what I wanted to make this video. It's just the problem with video game developers, especially like big video game developers, is they're not interested in making a good game. They're not interested in making anything that you want. They're interested in making fucking money. So they look at what works. The highest grossing video games in the entire world are Candy Crush and Clash of Clans. Mobile games, free. They're free games, but people spend more money on this than people have ever spent on real fucking video games. And so they see that, and they, follow suit. And unfortunately, now that Atlas is under Sega, I think they're falling for it a lot too, because like you see a lot of that shit happening with Atlas. Like they've got a lot of DLCs that you gotta pay for, and it's just stupid little stuff that doesn't even make any goddamn sense. Okay, so the OS2, a GM mode in Divinity 2? That's awesome. I actually saw Divinity and was interested in it, so I might just have to get. And if I do get it, it will be obvious. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get it on PC, but then at the same time it came out on PS4, so I want to get on that as well. Anyways, back to the Gundam thing. With Gundam games, you cannot stream them. The New Age Gundam games, before you actually play them, you sign 3 pages of fucking legally binding contracts. Or, by clicking, I accept the terms and services and sending it back to them, that you will not fucking stream their games. And you're not even supposed to, talk about the whole fucking signing the 3 pages of contract. So, I mean, who knows, this game could fucking, or this video might get closed out and fucking I get shut off of YouTube for even talking about it. But the Gundam Versus game is a piece of shit anyways. Like, the game plays like it should be on PS1, and there's even better games on the PS1 that are Gundam. Seriously, if you're looking for a new age Gundam game, get Gundam Breaker 3. That game is fucking awesome. But Gundam Versus is a piece of shit. You have like a lot of Gundams you can pilot, which is nice, but each of the Gundams only has about 3 different moves that they can really use, and if you want to play in the newer age Gundams, you're gonna get fucking wrecked. The game has no story. It just has these little stages where you fight waves of enemies that are not even really randomized. So you're basically fighting the same waves of enemies with the same 4 fucking moves. It's awful. You can't change your fucking camera angle. You cannot change your fucking camera angle in a PlayStation 4 game. Fuck that. The only thing that's nice about this game is the graphics. It does look very pretty, but that don't mean shit whenever there's no fucking game to play. Everything that's expected of you is you to pay them more money for the DLC so you can get extra fucking Gundams that you probably won't even fucking play with. And the main feature of the game, the whole point of the entire thing, is to go online and fight other people and other Gundams that only get 3 moves as well. Well, they probably wouldn't hold up in court, but I would still, me and my family would be falling under just fighting them off in court against, a big fucking corporation like that. I'm not sure what it was. Honestly, whenever I heard Gundam Versus was coming out, I wasn't gonna get it at all because I actually have Gundam Extreme Versus for the PS Vita, Extreme Versus Boost, something like that, and that's a really fun game. But the problem with that game is it's a Japanese game, so it is brutally fucking hard. Like, I probably made it through 8 stages before I just got stuck by the difficulty. Lawyers do ruin everything. But anyways, like I was saying about the Gundam Versus, I wasn't going to get it because of that game. I figured it was, it's just lower end. It's not going to be as good. But whenever I saw the gameplay for it, it looked like quite a bit different from the Extreme Versus series. And I kind of like read up and found out that the Versus and the Extreme Versus are different series as a whole. So I started seeing some of the gameplay and thought the graphics were really good, and it's Gundam Fighter, so I thought it's almost like it looked like almost like Gundam Breaker 3, but with just better graphics, and you can't customize your own Gundam, which isn't that big a deal. So I ended up cracking down and pre-ordering it, and got it, and Jesus Christ, like the day I got it and played it, like I knew I fucking hated it and wanted to return it. Blake's not the lawyer, Ian's the lawyer. By the way, is Ian not on? I didn't see him replying to anything. Yeah. Alright guys, so real quick, we got like 9 minutes left. Is there any questions, any more questions that y'all would like to ask before this YouTube live is over? You mean he's busy playing the same game of chess over and over again? What games to look forward to? Okay, let's see on my list. We got Friday the 13th getting a physical release finally this month. I'm kind of excited about that, but it really depends on if I have any money left over from Retropalooza, because I plan to be spending quite a bit there. Also, Taiko no Tatsujin's coming out this month, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's the Japanese drumming game where you beat the giant fucking drum. I definitely want to get that, and yes, obviously we got Dragon Ball Fighter Z coming out. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get the collector's edition, and we're going to have a party for that so we can play that. There's quite a few little VR games, especially horror ones that are coming out recently, and I want to get those. But it really does depend on the price tags and what else is coming out those months. We got Code Vein. I'm interested in getting that game, but it's kind of on the low on the scale of games that I want to get, so we'll see how that goes. And then of course we talked about Dissidia, and I might get Strange Journey. In Japan, they got this really fucking amazing 20th anniversary Shin Megami Tensei Edition one, and if that releases, I will get it. If not, I'll probably wait much later till it goes down in price, because it is a dungeon crawler. I'm not that interested in it. The Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. from Atlas looks really good. I hadn't played any of those games, but the premise looked really good, and it was kind of an old school RPG, so I'm interested in getting that one. And then, like, all the way over in March, you got Yakuza 6 coming out, Monster Hunter World, the new Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth game. I'll definitely be getting that, guaranteed, especially if we get a 20th anniversary Digimon one like Japan got as well. And then the new Atelier game is supposed to launch in March, but we'll see how that goes because it hasn't even launched in Japan yet. A new Zelda game in SNES style with the adventure style? Yeah, probably not. Although there's plenty of people modding those and making, you know, ROM hacks / homebrews of those, so don't really need that much. Yeah, I think they said, didn't they say Dark Souls is over? Like there's no more games that they're planning for that series. Yeah, Monster Hunter World looks like a lot of fun. I did a video earlier about the like is it worth it for the collector's edition, which got a lot of views. But apparently, like, people didn't like that I said it wasn't worth it. But it's significantly higher price than every single other person's collector's edition. Comes with significantly less. Like, I'm just, you know, kind of stating the facts. But yeah, it got a few dislikes on that one. Obviously, people are not happy that I said that it wasn't worth paying $160 fucking for that. Nintendo is super fucking lazy. Like, Mario Odyssey is finished. It's been finished since before the Switch even launched. They're just holding it out so it doesn't look like they don't have any fucking games ever coming out for their Switch. And so that people will keep buying them as they release these little games. Although they did say that they recently released on 3DS the remake for Samus Returns, and they said that they would not do any more like remastered versions of the older Metroid games. Also, like on that video that I was talking about, where I talk about is it worth it for the collector's edition, there's going to be a Monster Hunter World PS4 Pro, and that thing looks freaking amazing and comes with its own like custom controller, and it looks like super nice. So I kind of want to get that, but I'm sure it's going to be $500 on launch. And it's Monster Hunter World, but it comes out before the release of Monster Hunter World, and so Monster Hunter World, the game, is not on the fucking PS4. Well, Mario's always been a very easy game. I mean, that was literally like what Sega kind of like trashed Nintendo for whenever they released Sonic, was their, telling the creator that, Mario's for children, Mario's too easy, and then Nintendo even made Kirby, which was supposed to be for children. But I don't know, I feel like some of the Kirby games are harder than the Mario games. Now they've got Doom coming out on the Switch, so they're not trying to stick with their whole Nintendo's for children, but really, yeah, Nintendo's for children. Let's not joke. Obviously, the only adult-ish games are coming out from third parties, and that's just because Nintendo's trying to prove that third parties will make games for their piece of shit. Yeah, I don't know if there's... I can't say if there's any game out for the Switch that I would even truly want to buy. I know Shin Megami Tensei is supposed to be releasing a game for the Switch, but then they're also releasing a game at the same time for the 3DS, so I'm not sure if those are going to be the same games. Doom, like the newest Doom that released on PS4 and Xbox One and is getting a VR remake. They are downscaling it and downgrading it so that they can put it on the Switch. I mean, I don't know. I bet Nintendo censors will make them like kind of throw down the blood a bit. You're gonna bet like they get the game, but they can't do like the creative kills. that would be a fucking nightmare. Oh yeah. Yeah, but then if you want to play it for Switch, then you can pay them $60+ for it. Yeah. Oh, fucking Nintendo. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be all for this YouTube live. Thanks everyone for showing up. It was a lot of fun, and we'll definitely do this again at the beginning of next month. Like I said, I want to do one of these at the beginning of every single month. Last month we had issues with the webcam, and as you can probably see visually, we're having problems with the webcam now too, but I will get another one. I will get a new one. It's going to happen. Hopefully it'll work next time. But yes, thanks everyone for showing up. And take care, everyone. And catch you all next time.